Hi everyone, welcome to the Bucks 11 Plus information event. Before we jump into the topics for the day, let's look at what we'll cover as part of today's session. Firstly, we are going to go through a list of Buckinghamshire grammar schools. We'll talk briefly about the admission policies. We'll get an introduction to the Bucks 11 Plus exam, in particular the exam pattern and how the scoring happens. We'll talk a little bit about how to prepare for the exams. And finally, we'll talk about mock exam options and we'll go on to some Q&A. What I recommend is as we go through the presentation, if any questions come to mind, please put them in the chat and we will take them towards the end of the session. A recording of this session will be shared with all of you. So you will get an email later today, which will have a copy of the presentation as well as the recording. Just a small disclaimer that we are not affiliated with any grammar school or any government organization, and whatever information we are presenting is a part of our research, and we do encourage parents to do their own research as well. Yeah. So let's start with the list of the Buckinghamshire grammar schools. There are 13 grammar schools in Bucks, and they are helpfully displayed on this map. If you will see, we have the Royal Latin here in Buckingham. Then we have a cluster of grammar schools in Aylesbury, that is Sir Henry Floyd and Aylesbury Grammar and Aylesbury High. We have a cluster of grammar schools near High Wycombe and a cluster near Amersham. So in total, there are 13 grammar schools in Buckingham, and this kind of lists them all graphically. Let's briefly talk about the admission policies. So what do you need to get admission into one of these grammar schools? The first thing is you need a score of 121 in the 11 plus exam. So Bucks Council does the 11 plus exam, which is common for all 13 grammar schools, and a standardized score of 121 plus makes you eligible for one of the spaces in these grammar schools. There are certain criteria which you need to meet after that. For example, the first priority is given to students within the defined catchment area. Siblings, students who have been on free school meals, looked after children. So these are children who have been counsel looked after at certain point in their life. And children with special education needs also get priority in most schools. Children of teachers get a priority as well. And finally, after all these priorities have been met, then the admission goes to based on distance from the school. So the closer to you are to the school, the higher your chances of getting a seat. So we'll look at these criteria and how far the distance goes for each school in the next couple of slides. For example, here in the left, we have 7 of the Buckinghamshire grammar schools. And this is the PAN number, that is the planned admission number. For example, Aylesbury Grammar School is planning to take 186 students next year. The move-in date to be in the catchment is 1st of September for most schools, except for both of Dr. Chandler's schools, where it is 1st of April. This was the catchment distance it went to in 2023. This is the catchment distance it went to in 2024. And this is 2025, that is round 1. So round 1 results for 2025 came out in March this year itself. And the round 2 results are going to be taking place next month. So this is what the condition looks like so far. So for example, for Aylesbury Grammar Schools, which is the boys' grammar school, the catchment distance went to 14.28 miles in 2023. It remained till 13.18 miles in 2024. And in the round 1 2025, it's gone to 11.1 miles. In most grammar schools, there is a trend of decreasing catchment distance, although it is not applicable for all schools. But there is a general trend that the catchments are getting closer and closer. That is because new houses are being built and people are moving into those houses. So if you are planning for 2026, give a proper weightage to how far you are from the grammar school you are looking to get admission in, and if you need to move closer. Like I said, for most schools, the move-in date is 1st of September, except for Dr. Chandler's, where it is 1st of April. This link will take you to the council website, which has all these statistics. So you could go into these and look for yourself as well. So these are the remaining six schools against, again the catchment distance 2023, 2024, and 2025 so far. So as I mentioned, you will get a copy of this presentation in your email later this day. So you don't need to note anything down, but anything you want will be available in that presentation. Now, a lot of parents ask, how do I understand if I'm going to fall within the catchment? So we are going to do a small exercise. For example, this is one of the grammar schools, Aylesbury Grammar School. This is the address. Let's note down the postcode. And this is the catchment distance it went to in 2024, so 13.1 miles. So what we recommend is this particular link. Let's copy that. So this will help you understand if you fall within the catchment or not. So you could use this link. And if you type the postcode here, so this is the school postcode where you're looking to get admission. And if you type the radius, for example, the catchment went to 13.1 miles, you could draw a circle. So this is the radius till which the catchment went in 2024. So for example, if you, let's say, live in Tattenhall and Milton Keynes, so that is actually Tattenhall would be here. So Tattenhall and Milton Keynes is here. So you are likely to have been in catchment in 2024. So this tool can actually help you understand if you are likely to be within catchment or not. So we highly recommend this tool for understanding that. So let's go back to the PPT. So this tool is going to be available to you in the PPT, and this recording will be available as well, so that you can go to that tool and just understand if you are likely to fall in catchment or not. Now let's come to the all important question. How do you choose the right school for your child? There are a number of factors which should influence your decision. The first one is the academic ranking. So how good is the school academically? So we'll be going through the academic rank of various Buckingham schools in a minute. But there are other factors for you to consider as well. For example, commute. How far is the commute going to be for your child? Now, in the past, we have known families who have taken a very good grammar school, but which is, let's say, 1 to 1.5 hours away from their home. Now, what that means is the child ends up spending almost 2 hours in the morning and then 1.5 hours in the evening. So, that kind of takes away a bulk of your time. So that gives you very less time for extracurriculars. And as you get closer to GCSEs, the academic pressure increases as well. So, that is something to take into account. Ideally, do not go for very long commutes and try to, gain something locally. Or if you are in a position to move closer to the school, keep that in mind as well. For a lot of parents, it's important if it's a single sex school or a mixed sex school. Now, it might be important for you, it might not be important. But in case it is important, most of the schools, the grammar schools, are single sex schools, although there are a few mixed sex as well. So, in case you go back to the slide, it kind of tells you if it admits boys or girls, or is it a mixed school. Kind of, that might be something to consider as well. For some families, it's important to consider the school demographics. That is the school population very representative of the community, or is it very polarized towards certain sections of the community? For certain families, it's very important. For others, it's not so important. So, something to keep in mind. School infrastructure. Your child might be passionate about something. For example, they might be really passionate about music. Then what is the school infrastructure in terms of music classes? Do they have extensive equipment, extensive classes, etc.? That could influence your decision as well. Finally, does the school have a specialty? Is music a specialty? Is sports a specialty? Things like that. Most of these things you will come to understand when you go to open days. So open days are, when the schools invite parents and students to come in and have a look at the school facilities, interact with the school students, etc. So highly recommended that you go for these, and that will really help you make up your mind if that's the right school for your child. Let's focus a little bit on the academic ranking now. So there are a number of academic rankings available. The one we recommend is the Good School Guide. So what they do is they rank the schools based on attainment rate and progress rate. Attainment rate is basically the eight most important GCSE subjects. How the schools have, sorry, how the schools have students have performed in those eight key GCSE subjects. That is attainment rate. Progress rate is like when the students entered the school and when they left the school, what has been the progress, what has been the value add. So this particular list is based on progress 8 scores. So Dr. Chandler's Grammar School for Boys is number one, like that. So take these rankings with a pinch of salt because there are a number of rankings available, and some rankings rate some schools higher, others rate other schools higher. So do take it with a pinch of salt. And like I said, there are other parameters to consider as well. So don't go purely by rankings. Do give the commute. Is it a single or a mixed sex school, etc. Do give those points weightage as well. Uh, let's talk a little bit about the move-in dates. Like we said, the catchment move-in dates for most Buck schools is the 1st of September. So if you want to be considered in catchment, you have to move by the 1st of September. But for Dr. Chandler, both schools, it is the 1st of April. So if you are looking at admission in next year, that is 2026, you should already be in catchment by the 1st of April for Dr. Chandler's. For most Buck schools, it is the 1st of September, so you still have a little bit of time. Yeah. Do plan your move early. You will find that as it gets closer to the 1st of September deadline, a lot of parents, start thinking about moving. So the number of properties available might be short, and the kind of rentals you will have to pay might be a bit higher because the competition during that time is a lot harder. So if you start your plan early, if you plan your move early, you are more likely to get a good property at a reasonable time. Yeah. In terms of timeline, this is for the 2026 intake. So if you will be taking the exam in 2025, but looking at admission in 2026, 2nd May is when the admission form is going to open up. So this is the registration form for the secondary transfer test. It says children who attend a state-funded primary school in Buckinghamshire do not need to register. But I would strongly advise you talk to your school and confirm because some places like Milton Keynes which form under Buckinghamshire, but you still need to register for the test separately. So, do talk to your primary school and make sure if you need to register or not. The deadline for registration is 13th of June, so you need to complete the registration before that. 1st of September is the move-in date for most grammar schools. 9th of September is when you take the practice test, and 11th of September is when you take the real secondary school transfer test. Yeah, you should get the results by 10th of October. 31st of October is when you fill the CAF form, which kind of where you indicate which are the preferred schools for your child. And 2nd of March 2026 is the national offer day when you will be confirmed if you have gotten a place in your chosen school or not. Yeah. So this is a timeline of 2026 entry. If you're a part of our WhatsApp group, we'll be sharing more details on this, as the time progresses. Let's get a brief introduction to the 11 plus exam itself. So this is a selective exam for admission into one of the 13 Bucks grammar schools. This is for entry into year 7, and the exam itself is taken at the start of year 6. So if you are in year 5 currently, in September your child will move to year 6, and at the very start you will take the 11 plus exam. Let's talk a little bit about the pattern and scoring. The Bucks 11 plus exam consists of 2 papers. First paper is English and VR, which is around 45 minutes. English text, section is typically 25 minutes, containing 25 questions. A VR section, 20 minutes, between 32 and 36 questions. Second paper is Maths and NVR, again 45 minutes, with Math section containing 25 questions in 25 minutes, and NVR 40 questions to be attempted in 20 minutes. The exam follows the GL assessment pattern. That means it's all multiple choice questions only, no long answer types where you have to actually write the answer. This information is obviously subject to change year to year. This is the expected pattern, but the council could decide to make small or big changes as they see fit. This is a very rough indication of the syllabus you can expect. Like I said, you don't need to note this down. You will get the presentation and the recording, so you can have a look at it later. In terms of the scoring, let's understand three terms. First is the raw score. So raw score means how many questions you got right. So let's say the exam consists of 25 questions, and let's say you got 20 of those right. So your raw score is 20 or 80%. Yeah. Next, we come to standardized scores. Now, the limitation with raw score is it tells you how what percentage score you got, but there is no relativity. So, if in a easy paper 20 out of 25 might not be enough, but in a hard paper 20 out of 25 might be a really good score. So that is why most schools use something called as a standardized score. So this is basically a measure of your relative performance against other students. Now, most standardized scores range between 60 to 1, sorry, 40 to 160. And in bucks, a net standardized score of 121 or over is considered pass. So basically, a score of 121 is considered the same as a score of 160. They are both pass. Yeah. So getting a higher score doesn't give you more preference in terms of school admission. Around 33% of the students who give the exam achieve a standardized score of 121 and over. Finally, we come to something called age standardization. So basically what's happening here is within a year group, there can be a full year's difference between the youngest and the oldest student. So what the council do is they give the younger students certain extra points to compensate them for a year less of brain development than the older children. So it's not that the older children get anything taken away from them. It's just that the younger children get a few extra points. This could be, we believe, in the range of from 1 to 4 or 5 points. So that's the maximum you can be awarded. But generally, it's close to just a couple of points. Now we come to how do you prepare for the exam. So let's have a look at that. First, let's talk about theory coverage. So if you're looking at a book-based option, Bond and CGP both do some really good books. So Bond have these handbooks, and I think the newer versions are called no-nonsense books. So I think they also are on similar pattern. And CGP do their study books. So what these books do is they cover the theory aspects first, and then they take you through some practice questions as well. So you cover the full gambit of the theory and also look at some practice questions. So these books are really good for covering the theory in a very nice and cheap manner. If you're looking at a more video-based solution, then on our website, we offer these camps. So what happens is you have these subject-wise camps, which are week-long camps during the holidays. And in this camp, we take you through the full gambit of theory, as well as give you lots and lots of practice. So these camps are designed to make a step difference in your performance. So after the camp, you should see a big difference in the child's performance. So we have English, Maths, VR, and NVR camps, and we also do this accuracy booster and vocabulary booster. These camps are done during the holidays. In this April holiday, we have English camp, vocabulary camp, and the accuracy camp. So you could have a go at these. If you are part of our WhatsApp group, we do give members the option to take a free trial of a day without doing any payment. If you like the camp, then you continue. Otherwise, you can drop out. So that is also very useful. In terms of regular practice of exam style questions, Bond and CGP again do their 10-minute books and assessment papers, which are quite good. At Oxbridge Institute, we do our 10-minute, 15-minute, and 20-minute books, which go from being a beginner kind of a book to intermediate and to advanced. For GL Bucks kind of exam, we do recommend the 15-minute tests highly. And it's good to start with the 10-minute and progress to the 15-minute books. You can have a go at the 20-minute books as well, but these are slightly harder and geared for exams like QE, Sutton, HBS, St. Olave's, etc. Yeah. Let's talk about mock exams now. The mock exam journey doesn't have to begin in a center. So GL do their own practice books. So these are available on Amazon and all leading, e-commerce portals. So these books are really good in the quality of the questions they have. The only problem is they are not based on the GL Bucks pattern. So they are based on a generic pattern, and it does have the answers, but not detailed solutions. So that can be a little bit of problem with these tests, but the quality of questions is quite good. So highly recommended that you have a look at these. In terms of competitive mock exams, at Oxbridge Institute, we have online mocks, at-home mocks, and physical mocks to support you. So our online mocks from April, we'll have an online mock every month where you will get a personalized score report. You will get raw standardized score and rank information. You will get detailed solution. And we also allow you one free test reset. So you can give the exam once, and maybe after a month, you can take the exam again. And that kind of sets a benchmark on how the child is, learning from their mistakes, and if they have actually understood the questions they got wrong or not. So this is a very good tool. In the next slide, we'll go through our physical mock exam schedule. So we have center-based mocks at various locations in England. Again, you get personalized score report, raw standardized score, rank information. You get to retake the test online for free afterwards as well, and you get to keep the exam paper. With a lot of providers, they don't allow you to take the exam paper home, but with us, you always get to take the exam paper home because that's very important for review. Lastly, we have something called at-home mocks. So if a physical exam is happening in that month, but you're not able to come to the center either because it's too far for you, or you have other commitments on the day, then you can go for the at-home mocks where we post the physical paper to your home. You can complete the paper as per instructions and give us a copy of the answer sheet by email or WhatsApp, and you will be a part of the cohort and get the analysis as well as ranking and other information. So this is an option to use in case you can't make it to one of the physical centers. So let's have a look at our 2025 physical mock exams. So these are center-based mock exams. These are brand new mock exams made in 2025 as per the latest exam pattern. So for all our physical mock exams, we don't reuse mocks, but they are made fresh every year. For the GL-based exams, we have centers in Ilford, Reading, Milton Keynes, and Amersham. You can see the various dates. Like I said, you will get a copy of this PPT, and we have a very special offer. The mock exams are worth £40 each, but we do offer a bundle of 3 mock exams for £100. And what you can do is we allow you to mix and match. For example, if you are in Milton Keynes, you could get this bundle of 3. But if you wanted to try out a QE mock exam, you could keep 2 of these and switch one for a QE mock exam in London. So we do allow you to mix and match like this. Let's move on. So you will get a copy of the schedule in your email that will be coming to you later today. We have a number of 11 plus events, happening this and the next week. So in case you are looking at QE, HBS, or certain exams as well, we have events scheduled on the 16th of March and 22nd of March. So they are available on this particular link. Once you get it later today, you could choose to register for one of these events in case you are interested in these exams as well. So parents, thanks for attending today's session. Like I said, if you have any queries, please put them in the chat. We'll handle it now. We have a WhatsApp group. If you're not a part of it already, you can use this link to join. This link will come to you later today, but let me also put it in the chat in case somebody wants to join. So I've just put the link to the WhatsApp group in the chat. This is my email, and we have a live chat feature on the website in case you want to get in touch with us. We do try to keep it manned, so somebody should be able to take your chat. In case there's nobody there, please leave your email and your query, and somebody will get back to you as well. Yeah. So with that, we come to the end of the presentation. Thanks a lot for attending. Let's have a look at what parents have been asking in the chat, and let's try to answer that. So somebody says you cannot hear. Hopefully that's been resolved now. But like I said, you will get a copy of the presentation as well and the recording today evening. How many kids should get 121 plus? So around one third of all kids who take the exam get a standardized score of 121 plus. Uh, in actual reality, it's a little bit less than that, but the council says around a third of students should pass. But if you look at the graph which they send out at the end of each year's results, it's a little bit less than 33%. So maybe around 25% of all students pass the exam. What does round one mean? Uh, Buckingham does not have multiple rounds. So there is only one round of exam. Uh, what rounds mean is admission rounds. So once you get the admission results on the 2nd of March, that is round one. So you might be allocated a space in your preferred school, or you might be in the waiting list. So what happens is about a month later, the council does the second round of admissions, in which a lot of students who have been offered admission might not end up taking it because some students go for private, some might change their rankings, and some might get admission in one of the other schools, let's say London based schools, etc. So after a month, the council redoes the school admission rankings, and some people who are on the waiting list might actually get offers. So that's round two. So generally, there are three rounds which the council conducts, and then afterwards, school might do a little bit of this kind of exercise on their own as well, depending on if they get more vacancies. Yeah. How to join your WhatsApp group? I've just sent the link to the WhatsApp in the chat. The link is here as well. This will come to you in the email that comes later today. Yeah. How is raw score converted into standardized score? So there's a formula for it. It involves taking the mean of all the scores, standard deviation, and then applying that formula. So it's a very technical formula. If you are really interested, please contact me later. You can email me at sumit@oxbridgeinstitute.co.uk. I'll give you a little bit more detail, but you will not be able to use this formula on your own because you need the marks of the whole cohort in order to be able to apply it. So this is not something you'll be able to apply on your own. But if you want more details, just email me and I'll try to provide as much detail as I can. Does the catchment area grow then with round two? Yes. So what happens is after round one, a certain catchment has gotten admission, and the people who are outside that catchment they get to be part of the waiting list. So as more vacancies happen, so that catchment is likely to expand to include more students who are on the waiting list. It doesn't always have to expand because some people change address after round one, so they might actually jump on the priority. And sometimes, between round one and round two, there is no movement. That is also possible. So everyone who's been offered admission ends up taking it, then there might not be any movement in round two. So that has happened once or twice in the past, but generally there is always a little bit of movement. Yeah. Uh, so one question parents generally ask is what's a good score to aim for in the GL assessment papers to get admission in Bucks 11 plus exam. So I think a good score to aim for is always 80%. If it's a decent quality paper like the GL papers are, 80% across subjects is a very good score to aim for, and that should ideally take you through the threshold of 121 plus. The benefit of giving mock exams is you will get a detailed score report, and we are also going to indicate what standardized score you would have achieved given this kind of a mark and this kind of a cohort. So that kind of makes it easier to understand if you are expected to go over 121 or not. So it's very highly recommended that you take a couple of mock exams for that reason. Any more queries, please let me know. Otherwise, we'll close the session and you will get a recording of this later in the day. Somebody is asking, is it possible to move up in the next 6 months if your child is scoring 60%? Definitely. So if you have got a child who's scoring 60% now, we have seen it a lot of times. these 4 months or 5 months are going to be the core months. So these are the most important months. And we have seen students go from a score of 50% to getting 80% within these 3, 4 months or 5 months. So whatever you do in the next 4 to 5 months is going to be what matters. The important thing is whenever you give a mock exam or whenever you give any test, go over the questions you got wrong and understand what was the right way to do those questions. If you can just keep doing that, your score will automatically keep increasing, and it is quite possible to get score in your 70s and 80s in the next 3 to 4 months. Okay, guys, any more queries, please ask. So guys, thanks a lot. Please do join our WhatsApp group. And if you have any queries, please ask there. Either one of the parents will answer it, or we will also try to answer any queries which are outstanding. Thanks for attending the session. Thank you. Bye.